Hello, and welcome to Talking Schmidt. I'm your host, Eric Schmidt.
Hello, I'm Greg Burmeister.
And today we have the hilarious comedian Frank DeRuggiero. Frank, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
It's
Always
terrific.
a pleasure.
Yes, it's terrific to see you. You look great.
Thanks.
Just want to thank you again for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I haven't been out here in a while.
Now, DeRuggiero, is that a stage name?
Yeah.
you went.
I changed it from Frank Steele
to
Frank DeRuggiero.
Naturally.
Now, were me, I would probably stick with Steele.
The first comedy show I ever went to was, it was an Italian comedy night, and I just thought that's all all comedy was, so I had to change my name to
that's
the most egregiously Italian thing I could think of.
What's the most Italian thing I can come up with?
So cheers to you, by the way. Happy St. Patty's Day is when we're recording.
I'm fucking terrified to
We're recording
mess
today.
up any of this equipment. Yeah.
We're recording on St. Patrick's Day today. No, don't worry. We've spilled tons of stuff.
Yeah,
Patrick's Day
that's fine.
isn't it tomorrow?
It's today, Frank.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we're recording on St. Patrick's Day, so we had to drink the Guinness in celebration. Frank, you're hosting the next one of our shows coming up.
Yeah.
So excited about it.
March 28th.
March 28th.
That's right.
2024.
It's a Thursday night.
Live Snakes
Live Snakes
at
the Gutter
the Gutter in
Williamsburg,
very exciting.
near McCarran Park.
Yeah. Who's working
What's
the door
the-
that night?
Is it you?
I think it's going to be me.
Oh,
If you'd like to.
Well, I
You
volunteered because you did the one I hosted.
Yeah, well,
That's how these things work.
that's much less noble now that I know that whoever does it gets $20.
Well, we weren't telling everybody about that.
Oh, whoops.
You were actually you were the only person who got paid that night besides Mindy Tucker.
None of the other.
That's right.
We all decided to just give ours to Mindy.
Yeah.
And now you've outed yourself as one who
you made
did
the
not.
second most money.
Not a single person consulted me on this.
I didn't. We didn't really talk about it till the next day.
Well,
so it's.
Oh, okay. Well, was it on that email thread that I never checked?
No. Right. Which, by the way, I'm just gonna switch you to your regular.
No. I'm gonna start checking.
You're gonna start checking that email address. All right. Well, thank
It's
you.
just because I got a Chromebook and that's got nothing to do with it actually. It's just that I haven't set up the account on my phone yet, so I only can look at it when I'm on my Chromebook.
Well, enough about work. But yeah, no, looking forward to that. You're hosting that show. Who's gonna be on it?
We have two of the other producers because
of some schedule
they both
conflicts.
have they both have better careers than I do, so they
we
needed
do.
to shuffle stuff. Yeah, that's right. You've got a microphone here at least. You've got
So do you
equipment.
now. Look at you.
Well, and I'm taking it with me. Anyway, I've got Connor Cregan and Kevin McCaffrey. And those are the two producers, and then Andrea Allen, who's really, really funny.
Yep.
Who I booked
Andrea's
because
great. She's been on our
she's
show
been on the
here,
pod.
yeah.
I presume
Friend of the
so.
pod.
She was a regular on Good For You, as I recall.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I just ran into her at a bar the other night.
That's how you book people. Don't let that out.
You know what? Sometimes not. If they happen to be good, I was
People are
like,
just
she
gonna
was
start
one of like
showing
10
up
people I
wherever
thought
you
of
are.
asking, and then I saw her, and I was like, okay.
Sometimes the fish just jumps in the boat. You know?
Yeah. And
Lizzie
Cassidy, and who else? Alon Elion.
Alon. Now, is he
Who
going to be
is
Spenny?
recovering from a broken leg. He just had surgery.
Yeah, he's good. He just got the screw removed.
Yeah.
I believe.
I think we're going to see him tonight too. So I guess he's up and at 'em.
At Mia Faith Hammond's birthday party.
Yes.
Which she's having on St. Patrick's Day, weirdly enough.
Strange.
This is strange times. So Lizzie Cassidy, and then who else? Who else did you say there?
Alon.
Alon.
Elion. Alon Elion.
Is he going to be Alon or is he going to be Spenny on this show?
He hasn't told me yet, but
I like a surprise.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
a
me too.
nice wild card.
I feel like there was one more. Indian guy?
Pranav Bahari, yes.
Yes. All right.
All extremely good comedians.
Well, hopefully he doesn't see this.
Indian guy.
It is up to you whether or not it gets seen by anybody.
I'm putting this out.
You've got final cut, I believe.
Yeah, we can't erase that part. That's the best part of the podcast so far. You forgetting. How do you pronounce his name?
Pranav.
Man, a good thing I'm not hosting. I wouldn't be able to pronounce anybody's damn name on this thing. Oscars recap. Oscars were last week.
No, buddy.
What did you-
Certainly were.
What did you think?
Oppenheimer.
Best one in years.
Best one in years?
I would say, yeah. Which is not a high bar to clear, but it was still very good, I think.
I think the only movie I saw.
It zipped. It ended under time.
Well, it's because they started early. That doesn't count.
I suppose that's true.
The only movie I saw.
You feel that difference. I think it was a good change.
I agree with you. The only movie I saw of those movies that were nominated was Barbie.
That can't be. You didn't see a single one of the others?
I haven't seen any of the other ones.
I saw half of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think they got it right? Do you think the people that
You
won
know,
deserve
to
to
be
win?
completely honest, I didn't watch the Oscars. I watched Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington's Oscar special, which I do every year. They live stream it during the actual Oscars.
Oh, that's fun.
And yeah, it's hilarious. They have this whole bit where they like don't even talk about movies really. They keep getting sidetracked. And so, yeah, I didn't watch the Oscars.
So you have no idea who won?
I know Oppenheimer won Best Picture.
It did. Yeah.
And
Do you agree with that, Frank?
I know Emma Stone won Best Actress for Poor Things, which I saw. I liked that movie. It was very strange, but I'm a strange man, so I enjoyed it.
You are a strange man.
Thank you.
You're a
Thank
strange
One of the
little man.
stranger men I know, actually. And I know a lot of men.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you've got a clapboard on the wall and a popcorn. You don't watch the Oscars. That's it's everything about what you've got going on here. Danny DeVito's over there.
Well, now we'll have to do it behind the scenes just for the
Yeah,
Patreon
my-
folks,
my
where we
home-
show what's on the walls.
My homemade Danny DeVito
Oh yes,
art.
all right. Are you trying to keep a shroud of mystery about yourself and the way you live?
Go join the Patreon if you want to see Greg's walls, guys.
Yeah.
So, did you agree with who won? Do you think that they got it right?
Things I'd fucking do with these walls. I'm just like I'm looking. I'm seeing. I've got visions. I've got visions of a gallery. Anyways, what was it you asked me?
I asked if you felt like the Oscars got their winners right. Like, did the people that deserved
Yeah,
it?
I was on board with everything this year. I don't believe
You're a cinephile. You're a big
First-
movie guy.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. For as much as I enjoy the Oscars, I don't really think that what decision is made really indicates anything. So I just I watch it like the way I watch.
An award show
Yeah.
where you care
And
less about.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
Look at it with a very passive
Yeah,
mindset.
you're just there to have. You hope everyone has fun.
Yeah,
You
everyone
want
gets a
everyone to-
participation.
It's now to a
award.
degree. You know what? I shouldn't say that actually. I just mean this year. I was like most of these are like were good enough where I was like I could see conceivably giving any of these people or movies the award. So
Okay.
I was like I'll be a happy camper whatever happens pretty much. But yeah, I agree with I think they made some good calls
Well, good.
as a collective voting body.
And how did you feel that the host Jimmy Kimmel did? I've heard him called Jimmy Kimmels, by the way, by people who don't know how to pronounce his last name. But
Kimmels.
I thought the monologue was very funny. Here's an interesting thing. He like made a joke about Robert Downey Jr. And people online were like, "You can't do that." But like they're friends. He didn't seem that.
You can do whatever you
He didn't
want.
seem bothered by it. Like
I joke about your cocaine habit all the time.
that's true, but that's because I'm still in that cocaine habit.
Right.
So like it's still
not a
fun.
recovery.
Well, it's cococaine plus time is comedy or something like that.
Yeah, no, you can do it while we're having fun with it. You can make fun, but after I get out of after it destroys my life,
Yeah.
Right.
I probably need to take a little bit of time.
Once the mention of it.
Once you have a
makes you
hole
start
in your
twitching.
nose.
Yeah, sure, you're right. So, and by the way, St. Patty's Day is a great cocaine day because, because you're like day drinking, right? And then you
gotta stay awake.
Yeah,
apparently.
you gotta keep going. And how else are you gonna
You
keep
can't
going?
wait to feel terrible the next day.
Yeah, right. So we'll get some coke after this, and we'll have a good time. Speaking of cocaine, I just got back from Mexico.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Very good.
Flawless.
yeah.
Flawless slip into that topic.
Thank you. Have you been to Mexico?
I went to Cancun once, like, I don't know, 10 years ago now, maybe. It was nice. It was just one of those, like, resort sort of places.
Yeah. Did you do some cocaine?
No, I was with my mother, among other people,
Okay.
who would have
Not been into you doing cocaine, probably.
she would have grounded me on vacation.
Yeah, you're just doing snorting blow by yourself.
I didn't even know that was purely a booze trip. I hadn't even started smoking weed by then. I started smoking weed late.
Yeah. I did too, but I did.
You don't really do it.
Now I don't really do it at all. Yeah, but I did. Yeah, I feel like I got into weed a little after everybody else. Booze, the same thing, because weed was easier to get than booze. Like when you're in high school.
Sure.
But by late you mean like college late, don't you?
Yeah, like when I was 20, 21.
And you're going to... Greg, have you been to Mexico?
I've only been to Juarez, Mexico, which is like
That counts?
third. So technically, yes, but it's like a third world country.
You both have said these things like they wouldn't count as Mexico, but like those
I
are...
mean, yeah, but
If
like
this video finds its way to Juarez.
there's raw sewage running down the streets.
What the hell were you doing in Juarez?
I was helping. Oh, what were we doing? It was like a church trip, and we were.
Okay. You were doing like a mission type thing.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. It was in high school, and that's the only time I've been to Mexico.
I thought you were going to say I was helping some guys move some drugs. That's what I was up to.
I played soccer with some kids. That was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but
like a field.
it wasn't really paradise at all.
Now, not the same, but you're going to New Mexico, or you've been to New Mexico?
I'm flying out tomorrow night, as a matter of fact.
What are you doing out there?
That's where my girlfriend grew up. So,
I thought she was from the soda.
No. She just works in Minnesota. She got a job in Minnesota.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. From New Mexico.
Yeah, grew up in Albuquerque, and so I'm gonna fly there. She's already there, and I'm gonna meet
Doing
her
a little
folks.
trip? Oh.
We're gonna do a night in Roswell, New Mexico. We're gonna make contact, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
We're gonna
Now-
stay at a motel.
Yeah.
I found the seediest
Amazing.
one I could
Very good.
for the vibes.
It's fun to be an alien podcast now, which
Yeah.
seamless transition
I
there.
love aliens.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you
I think
think-
I might be an alien.
Oh, well, that would be interesting. That would kind of explain some things, too, actually.
The guitars have a very spaceman kind of vibe to them.
All right, now we got to show the guitars on the...
My
yes.
grandmother insisted that one night when she was pushing me around in a stroller around Brooklyn before my family moved to Westchester County, that she saw UFOs. And I was in the stroller, so I technically saw them too.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're backing up it was your grandmother?
Yes.
Backing up her story?
I can't confirm or deny. I just
She didn't have any
she was
documentation.
convicted enough of it. She didn't need me to back her up. That woman believed fully and thoroughly. She also thought she saw leprechauns once.
Wow.
Yeah, she was fun.
Wow.
She wasn't kooky all the time, but every once in a while she'd say some stuff. something
Leprechauns
like that.
and aliens. Rare twofer.
Yeah,
I feel like...
the leprechauns were when she was a little girl.
I mean,
Was there a
on
third?
St. Patty's Day, I feel like we should be able to see a leprechaun out there if they
Yeah,
exist.
right. We're
This
calling
is
you
the
out,
day where they.
leprechauns. Wow, your
prance
grandmother
around.
saw both aliens and leprechauns. You sure there wasn't like a third? There wasn't like a... She didn't see like
I don't know
a,
if she got the cryptid hat trick.
Right.
What were her thoughts on LSD?
You know, and actually,
did
she
she-
probably saw ghosts. Yeah, it was probably
She was probably high on acid.
yeah. So she was
fun woman.
putting into the tomato
Yeah.
sauce.
Oh, it's the Italian. Are you both sides Italian?
No, my other grandma was Irish.
Man, what a great fucking
Yeah.
day. What a day.
Brennan was the maiden
We
name.
really did it.
Our branding today is on fire.
Leprechauns,
It worked out.
acid.
I watched some airplane movies. Some
Oh,
movies
is that why? Okay.
I watched, yeah.
I got a text from him this
Eric.
morning, and he was like, "By the way, I got two movies I want to talk about in the podcast: Elvis with Tom Hanks and The Bodyguard, which is from 1988, I think."
No, it's from the 90s, 91, 92.
Whitney
Okay.
Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it is.
He knows what it is, but I couldn't
haven't
believe I
seen it.
figued out one he hasn't seen.
Every once in a while, yeah, there's some slip through the cracks
Great movie.
because I'm watching,
Yeah.
Caddyshack again or whatever.
Right. But so
yes.
I had not seen...
Great song. I know the song.
Yeah. So I had not seen it, and it's an unusual genre. It is a like suspense, thriller, romance, and
Lot going on
yeah.
there.
So like I knew the song obviously, and I'm like, I bet they're gonna play it at the end, and I bet like some people cried. Like I'm not gonna cry. Like I know it's coming. I know it's coming. 2 hours later, I am crying on the plane. Like coming in for a landing.
Oh no.
Yeah, a little embarrassing. I just beat it though. That's always fun when you just beat when you're
Was
landing.
it just wet face, or were you making noise?
No, just wet face, and trying to hide it. Trying to be like, oh man, it's the air's blowing on my eyes. Must have gotten dry here. That kind
Anyone
of
got any
thing.
Visine?
I don't think anybody noticed, but I would have been embarrassed. Could you imagine looking over and seeing a guy who looks like me crying to what is
about
clearly the end of the
Whitney
Bodyguard?
I think that would be very heartwarming of a thing for most people to see.
Yeah, maybe. But so you haven't seen it. You've seen, but you have seen Elvis with. Have you? Wait, Greg, have you seen The Bodyguard?
You know, I saw like parts of it back in high school, but I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Maybe we'll
remember
do
much of it.
we'll do a viewing,
A watch along.
Yeah. So
I shouldn't say I've seen it because
we won't count it then.
Yeah.
The Elvis movie though. What's the guy who plays Elvis? Named?
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler, terrific. I thought.
Yeah, me too.
In that role.
I wanted him to win the Oscar that year. I don't remember. Actually, no, I wanted Colin Farrell to win, but I thought he was really good.
Yeah, it was.
I like the Elvis movie.
A lot of people didn't.
Well, yeah, a lot of people got hung up. I find it works the best. It plays the best if you sort of put it out of your head that Elvis was a real person, and just watch it. Just watch it as if it's a movie about a fictional character. Because everybody, you know, I feel like people
just
are like
a character that someone came up
You
with.
think the most gripes were that like it wasn't that close to reality?
I feel like, I mean, as opposed to what? It was.
Well, I mean, I've watched
visually. It was a blast.
Sure.
It was. I mean, I don't know how you could watch it and not have a good time. Whether or not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't even know if I really thought it was good or if I just thought it was fun. But
it is fun.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Well, a lot of people told me they quit watching when they played rap music in it. Which like is kind of close to the beginning. Which like, and also they're not like, I mean, I know some racists. I'm not proud to admit that, but these were not them. These were just people who were like, I didn't like them like mixing genres. It didn't work time. It's like what?
Well, he did that same thing in the Great Gatsby movie too.
Right.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's weird, but no,
It's weird. It's an interesting choice. Yeah, it keeps it fun though. Right?
That's always so. That's like such a little. I just can't imagine a person who's just like, no.
Yeah, no rap. No rap.
It's gotta go off now. Like, you know.
Right. They walked out of the theaters over it.
That's crazy. Like, I don't listen to a lot of hip hop music, but I'm not gonna turn off a movie because
Right.
a rap song comes on.
Could you imagine just be like, wait a minute, that's not around that time period. I got to get up and get out of here. Again, I'm giving them the racist sounding voice. These were not racist people.
Even rap music or any reason, I don't know what would have to happen for me to walk out of not finish a movie.
Because
I've never done it.
Sometimes it's more entertaining if it's a bad movie.
Yeah,
like you're along for the ride. You're like, let's see how they land this ship.
Also, it's not a documentary. This isn't like a factual thing. Like, they're like, oh no, the rap song was from a different era. Like, yeah, it's a movie.
A lot of people also didn't like Tom Hanks' portrayal, but like from what I understand, it was pretty accurate. Like he did have that weird accent, that guy. Because I've seen documentaries about Elvis and that, and particularly that manager that he had, who was not a very good guy. It accurately portrays that guy as a bad guy. But like the other things, I did definitely have to look up some things after watching it. But
this is what I mean. I didn't. I was like,
but I didn't.
I was just like took it at face value. I was like, okay, this is how this guy is. This is how he speaks. This is how he behaves.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was really, because I was watching it. I was almost a little slack jawed because I was drunk, a little stoned. But I was just like, I've never seen. And I think it's worth having made it just for this. Like, when have you ever seen Tom Hanks do anything remotely like that? Whether or
never in my life.
Good. It's just to see a guy who was, so established as the sort of guy he is, just decide to do that.
Yeah, wear a giant fat suit.
Unlikable, gross dude.
Wear a giant fat suit, talk real weird.
Look at my wiggling boy. I had to pause the movie when he called him he was like just like doing a little dance. It was almost adorable.
So would you say that's your favorite quote over "He's white"?
Yeah, I like the underdog. You know, that one's gotten enough play. I want to go to bat for "Look at my wiggling boy."
So my wiggling boy.
Yeah,
but great movie. I thought
it's much worse without the accent. Really makes that.
Just Greg's accent that makes it even more terrifying. Actually, I watched that on a Boeing 737.
Oh,
so cheated death.
Oh
so
yeah,
you were anxious the entire time.
Yeah,
probably. Door didn't fly off or whatever.
No, nothing insane happened, which is good.
Very good.
What's with that? What do you think, Frank?
What's with planes falling apart?
Yeah,
in the sky?
what's going on, man?
It seems like they're not making the planes that good enough. It's
those union guys taking advantage of their low wages.
I'm picturing one guy who's just like not like they're screwing bolts in one by one, as if it's not a mechanized process. Just like there's the plane, the guy who builds planes.
Doesn't matter.
He's got a blue jumpsuit and a mustache.
The same either way.
And he just is sleeping on the job. That's probably what it is.
It's real bad. Yeah. And to be honest, in the time between recording this podcast on St. Paddy's Day and when it posts on Thursday, there's going to be at least 2 or 3 more of those Boeing planes falling apart in flight.
Yeah,
it's possible I'm going to be on one tomorrow. I don't know.
Are you gonna be on a Boeing tomorrow?
I mean, I don't know if can you do you know that sort of thing ahead of time?
Yeah, you can look that up. What airline are you flying?
JetBlue.
I've never
I feel like
used
they're.
JetBlue.
I feel like they're
Like
fleet.
with Delta, you can like
Yeah, you can see, it'll tell you
it
the
says
type.
like the exact like Boeing 737-064. But
Yeah.
I don't know what it means
Those are the
half
main ones you want to
Check
avoid.
the app.
Yeah. You may want to check, maybe change to an earlier or later one if you can get on an Airbus, which sounds like it would be worse
Well,
than
the thing is that this is the only one that's direct.
Oh.
And
Well,
I
we're
do
gonna
like
pray.
a
We're
red
gonna
eye.
we're gonna pray for you,
The
Frank.
flight back is I leave Albuquerque at midnight, and I get back to JFK. It turns out to be 6 a.m.
Oh, you're doing a
With the red eye.
is what they call that.
Yeah.
By the way, this episode brought to you by the fine folks at Boeing.
It's funny. In high school, I was in Seattle and I took a tour of the Boeing factory where they make all the airplanes.
This was back when they were a reputable company.
Yeah,
Did
I was gonna
everything
say,
it seemed like it was working okay?
Yeah, I put my knowledge of airplanes to use, and I carefully inspected the process, and looked like everyone was doing a great job.
Well, that's great
That's
to hear,
good.
man.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately they don't.
Seems
It's
times have changed.
heartening.
Yeah, but unfortunately that's not the case anymore. Did you hear about that subway shooting, Frank?
Oh,
You were not joking about talking about the subway shooting?
I think it's hilarious. This guy gets shot by his own gun. I mean,
is that what happened?
You don't even know what happened?
No, I don't do
Oh my
research,
God! Well,
man.
then let me catch you
No.
up. Now I have.
It happened on the train I take, so I don't know if I want to know.
Well, no, you'll want to hear this.
Yeah.
I have a conspiracy theory about it too that I'll tell you about at the end of telling you about it.
You look like a guy who only has conspiracy theories.
Got me. So I actually am not.
Sing every once in a while.
I actually am not that into conspiracy theories, and people are often surprised when I tell them that because, like you said, I do look like I would be into conspiracy theories.
You look like you invented some of your own.
Well,
just
I'm
have, yeah.
about to.
Yeah.
So here's what happened though. This guy gets on the subway, and he has a gun on him when he gets on, and then he starts like being aggressive toward people, and specifically like this guy. Now I've seen the video. The guy looks like maybe he is Latino. The guy he's like yelling at, and he is saying what sounds like kind of anti-immigrant, anti-migrant things to him. And then I guess they decide, or he was like, let's fight. And so they at first they're just like fighting, and then
like the old
Yeah.
Notre Dame
Yeah.
Irish
Fisticuffs.
They
like
squared
on
up.
Yeah.
like classic
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day.
They were throwing down, and it wasn't even St. Patty's Day.
Oh,
maybe it was in
crazy.
preparation of it. But so they're throwing down, and the guy, the initial aggressor, is beating the guy up.
Yeah.
and has him like on the seat. And then this woman who I think was with the guy, like the not aggressor, like the guy being aggressed, stabs the aggressor in the back a few times.
So it
just like
wasn't-
bip, bip, bip. And like she looks like she's a pro. She looks like she's been to like a man prison where like
she's done some stabbing.
You know that scene where like in Chappelle
They have stabbing in female prisons.
No, not allowed. Women aren't allowed to stab.
They can stab all they want. I think so. I say.
All right. Well, this is the first argument we've ever had on this podcast. Frank, you won't outwoke me. I'm so woke. I think women can stab in prison.
Anybody that Fred Astaire could stab, Ginger Rogers could stab backwards and wearing high heels.
Well, there's our quote, Paul.
Yeah.
That's our quote.
I was struggling to get that one out. I was
it's
like,
okay.
how's it go?
So you know that scene in Chappelle where it's like the reality show and they shiv like the guy's dad.
In Chappelle show?
Yeah, Chappelle show.
It's been a while.
Okay, well, there's a shiving in Chappelle show, and it's like it looks very like they're like chat 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 chat. It's very fast, quick, multiple stabs. That's what this woman did to this guy.
rapid fire.
Yeah, that's what this woman did to the guys. It looked like she knew.
So
what
she had the wrist dexterity to
bep,
get
bep,
it done
bep, bep.
quick.
Yeah, she just like stabbed the guy like
Which-
2-3
which
times.
indicates,
got him right in the
prior
liver or
experience.
whatever.
Yeah. And so he stops hitting the guy because he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, did you just stab me? And she like runs away a little bit and he's like, what the
Like,
fuck?
yeah, you're threatening.
How big
us.
was the knife that he was able to just be like,
course.
did you?
It didn't seem very big.
What did you do? What did he?
Like, I couldn't
was
tell.
he not in pain?
I mean, possible she just had like sharp nails and it was just like that because I couldn't tell.
Like a manicure?
Yeah, like she got him done. But like, that's what I'm saying. The knife was so small I couldn't tell she had a knife. It looked like she was just kind of like smacking him in the back a little bit. But yeah, you could ttell like there was blood starting to show on his shirt.
Oh, she got him.
Yeah. So then she runs away as he's like, "What the fuck? I'm getting stabbed." But it's still though, everyone's like, you were the guy who got on and started yelling at everybody.
You were the aggressor.
Yeah, you sir are not good. And so he he stands up from getting stabbed, and then he like goes to his bag as like the woman and that guy are like, what the fuck? And again, the subway is between the stations, so it's still like just like moving, and everyone's like yelling at them to just stop, like knock it off.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. There's at least 2 people filming, so I've seen this from 2 different like phone like camera things. And the guy goes to his bag and pulls out a gun, and immediately so you don't get to see the rest of the video because the people filming turn around and run.
Oh,
like,
naturally.
They run the fuck away once he's like, you hear him go, too, and you're just like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So he made a noise with his mouth.
Yeah. So he just
it's just like a BB gun, an airsoft gun, and he's like,
well,
like you're playing.
That would explain the ending, by the way. So here's what happens. He like points it at the guy, and then somehow the other guy gets the gun away from him and shoots him in the head with it.
whoa.
Yeah.
So he's dead.
He's not dead. So that's what leads me to believe maybe a BB gun.
What part? I see.
yeah.
No, it wasn't a BB gun though.
All right.
It like you could hear it in the video. It was a very loud
What
sound.
part of that? Like just.
I don't know. They haven't said.
Right.
So they like release the names of the guys, and what they know is that they did not know each other, which makes you gather that from the video. They have not found the woman, so I'm guessing maybe she.
Oh, the stabber?
Yeah, like so, like the guy. If the guy who got aggressed, if that was his girlfriend, wife, partner, then he's decided not to out her. Like, because they did question him. They arrested him. They briefly held that guy and then let him go because, like, self-defense. They're not going to charge him with anything.
Yeah.
Now, I believe if the other guy lives, I imagine he'll get charged with some things. Possession of a firearm, assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
Even though his dumbass got shot in the head, which I find just justice, really.
Yeah.
And,
He deserves it.
Now, here's my conspiracy theory. I think he might be a cop.
Ooh.
Because and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
He was yelling at the guy. He was like, "You guys think you can come beat up cops?" That's one of the like anti-immigrant things, which also not correct. They did not beat up remember that Times Square thing?
Yes.
So that's what he was referencing, and like being on the cop's side.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell is this? Why are you getting on just yelling at random? And also like, the guy looks like he might be, like I said, the guy looks...
If you're not a cop, why would you just randomly start defending cops?
Right. Yeah, the whole thing seemed real weird. I mean, the guy seemed a little off, but like, had a gun though too, which like cops have guns, That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, maybe that guy was a cop, and that's why
It was a service firearm.
Yeah, so called it here, on St. Patty's Day. Watch the news come out on like Monday, and this podcast doesn't come out till Thursday. But anyway, that's my conspiracy theory. The guy might be a cop.
Okay.
So, but crazy,
well, we're
right?
gonna have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we'll watch this space.
Was he drunk? Was it said in the...
I don't think so. I think he just seemed a little. I mean, he seemed a little off.
He was cheesed off.
Yeah, seemed a little. He snuck in too. Like he didn't pay the fare, which like really should be the least of anyone's concerns. But the NYPD felt the need to point that out.
That's how they're gonna nail him.
I spent $600 on this gun, but I'm not gonna pay $2.90.
As I say it, I'm realizing maybe not a cop, because while a cop would totally steal service, I don't think the NYPD would later point out, hey, this guy also stole service, if they knew he was a cop.
Well, there you go. You just debunked yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's always fun when a person on a podcast puts out a crazy idea and then go ahead and just debunks their own idea.
Maybe it's an alien.
I hope so.
Damn.
I love it.
Hadn't thought about that. Or maybe a leprechaun.
Yeah.
He was the same height as the other fella, but still, I mean, maybe leprechauns don't have to be short. Maybe that's offensive. Maybe that's an offensive stereotype.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, they could be a regular-sized man.
Right. We're woke for leprechauns now.
Yeah, we don't judge.
Yeah, we're not judging.
He's like that the kid in that movie where he turns into a leprechaun, but he's regular size for most of it.
What movie is that?
It's a Disney Channel movie. It's a basket. Luck of the Irish, I think it was called. He's a basketball star. He turns into a leprechaun.
Have you had any odd experiences on the subway like that? Have you ever been shot in the head with your own gun on the subway, Frank?
No, that's the thing. I said I don't have really anything totally remarkable.
You've seen a subway masturbator.
I've seen a guy jack off, which that's dime a dozen.
Well, Greg and
Actually, I run a
true.
stand-up show at a dispensary.
You have one.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last night. And
Oh, you were saying you had one about the one that was specifically the one last night. I thought you were just announcing that you have one, an ongoing show.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the third Friday of each month. But
You should go. It's a great show.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. One of the comics on the show was a guy named Eli DiSabato, a funny guy, and he was with me when that happened. So he told. Apparently, he does a bit about it. He has the whole story is now his bit. So,
I feel like you should also get rights to that bit.
no, actually, in hindsight, it was years ago. I gave them to him. I remember now. He was like, "Are you going to do a bit about this?" I was like, "It's all yours."
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
generous.
Yeah, very nice of you. So that's the only one subway masturbator.
And then if I would have had to write something then if I had not given up
This is true.
the rights.
I heard from you that you have some uncles who are real interesting.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite things about my family. I got my grandfather's. My grandfather was on the up and up, but his
What do you mean on the up and up from what?
compared to his brothers who were criminals.
Okay, gotcha.
Thieves, prolific thieves,
Whoa, like petty thieves or like
houses.
how do you
No, they would break into houses. You didn't actually think.
I don't know. I mean,
They just load a house on a truck.
like where?
They get a big sheet under it, and they like all
Maybe
hoist.
they have a big yard full of mobile homes. I don't know.
Yeah. So the ringleader was my uncle.
You don't have to name names.
I mean, also I'll tell you his nickname. I don't know if he's still kicking. He was old
Let's make
when
Greg.
I met him at my grandfather's funeral, where he came from. He came with like from jail, like the warden and stuff.
Before you say his nickname, I want Greg to guess whether it's the Irish side of the family or the Italian side of the family.
Italian, definitely.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So the last name of all these people is DeRuggiero.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like some real mob.
The Italian fist bump. Beers is his nickname.
Beers.
Beers DeRuggiero.
Did he really like gin or something?
He was a
See what I, you know what I?
he was
a real
a
gin martini guy.
he was a La Croix man mostly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just,
What was his beer?
I don't know. All of them, just beers.
Oh, just love beer.
You don't get the nickname beers if
For
you
just
if
really
you are,
liking
if
Peroni.
you are particular about it's beers. And
Just a full beer man.
They would have called him Peroni if it was Peroni.
Schlitz DeRuggiero would have been the.
Ooh, Schlitz DeRuggiero. That's your new nickname.
I'll take it. That's probably what they were drinking back then. So yeah, him, and then I think 2-3 more of the brothers, all guys I like. When I was a kid, we go up. They had a place up in upstate. It was like nice, sort of cabin vibes. Field.
Okay.
You go down by the creek.
Was it their like safe house?
No. This is
Oh,
just
okay.
It was all in the past, and then they all just they did their time, and then they were just regular guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they got away from the life. Were they in the life, or were they just freelancing?
They were a prolific band of thieves. You can like look up the court case online, and there was like years.
Never killed anybody.
Well, so here's the thing.
Just stole houses.
and they had, to my understanding, because I've known about this and been sort of obsessed with it for long enough, but I would just get it through stories from my grandma, who is not around anymore. So
The same one who saw the leprechaun.
No, this is my
right, sorry.
Irish.
Yeah.
My Irish grandma married my Italian
The
grandfather.
one who was an
Whoa.
alien.
and that's how the Irish got mixed
Dangerous
up in my
mix,
bloodline.
guys, yeah.
So I don't remember how much of it is what actually happened and how much of it is what I have twisted it into wanting it to be.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure there was like a guy in the police force who was like, I'm gonna get this. Like he was like the Batman to Beers DeRuggiero's Joker.
And this is all up in your hometown, or
Up around there, yeah.
Okay, just a little bit
and
out
they
of
had
the
like
city.
even they were, and so like one of the brothers, his son, my uncle Scutchy, we called him.
okay.
Scotch and beers.
Any of these? So these guys are all still around?
I haven't seen him in a while, but I think Scutchy probably is. I went on like fishing trips with him and stuff. He was a cool guy.
Okay.
Vietnam vet, and so when they got caught, he got off.
A little lighter because of his military
Totally,
service.
they just let him off.
But beers really.
Yeah, he like Purple Hearts and
got
everything.
Screwed.
Yeah. Beers. Yeah, well, he was the ringleader, so so he did the most time.
He drank the most beers.
Yeah,
We
he
let
drank
our
the most
veterans
beers,
commit crimes. It's okay.
It's fine.
You served your country. You can kill one guy. You can kill lots of people overseas.
But-
you get to kill one here. That's it.
More than most.
So this is
but still. some.
long story short, we don't. It's not really known whether or not
Yeah, because I'm sure they
there
didn't.
was a dead body
Oh.
linked to them, but it's some camps attest it was a setup because they couldn't get them. They were so good at the thievery that they just got off every time they would do it.
Yeah, they
And
would get away
even,
without.
Like my father would steal hubcaps for him. And
Oh.
he'd that scene in Goodfellas where he's 13 and he just goes sit there and all my uncles would be like just watching him, and then they'd let him off every time. The levels of it were there was some of it was just like wacky petty crime hijinks and then
Sure.
and
then robbing houses.
and then the dead body. But
So the dead body was part of I guess like an armed house robbery, right? I guess.
I would imagine so.
Okay.
But my favorite part of it is that one of the guys, one of the uncles, my grandfather's brother, Johnny. There's an article about this in the New York Post that I should have queued up so I could read from it. Let me start pulling it up right now while I speak.
Well, while you're pulling that up,
are we short on time?
No, that's fine.
It doesn't matter.
While you're pulling that up, we're actually going to bring in a very special guest.
What?
The police.
Hey! Is it the guy? Is that investigator?
Yeah. He's
You bring a grizzled old retired
you
70s
just
cop
outed your
here?
dad for the hubcaps.
Not the band. The
He's
police.
fine.
Actual
Statute of
cops.
limitations, etc., etc. John. Anyway, so he was hired. The movie The Score.
I know of it. Yeah, the Fugees.
With what?
It's an album by the Fugees.
Oh, I see. Okay, I don't have your as encyclopedic knowledge of music.
You're an Oscars guy. I'm a Grammys guy.
Yeah. Someone's got it.
Yes.
Did you see Bruce Springsteen one for?
Streets of Philadelphia.
No, and then again for Dunstan Checks In. Did you see that?
Yeah, because you sent me. What was that?
I don't know. Someone made that on the internet.
Is it a meme?
I think Frank might be our first guest to insist on looking something up while being on the podcast.
yes.
Well, yeah. Well, because I was going to continue.
It's in the Post.
Yes. This is what I was trying to tell you.
That's Greg and I. That's Greg and I's number one
our
trusted name
Go-to
in news.
Right.
source.
And this is why I don't feel bad about airing out family secrets because this was in the New York Post.
Yeah.
So it's not.
We only read the New York Post.
And
We only read family secrets.
So
We only read about men named Beers.
they hired him to be a consultant, like a crime consultant on the movie The Score. Because it's a heist movie with De Niro.
Your uncle
and
or the?
my uncle.
Okay.
And Marlon Brando.
No, this is
it was
Schlitz,
Marlon
or-
Brando's. No, this is Johnny DeRuggiero.
Oh.
Listen to what I am saying.
Okay.
So they hired, this is the article in the New York Post, an ex-con safecracker hired as a technical advisor for Robert De Niro and Marlon Brando in the new movie The Score was unable to make the premiere. He's back in the slammer in connection with a real-life heist, the Post has learned. Johnny D. DiRuggiero, a 58-year-old professional burglar with a long rap sheet, not only worked on the hit movie, he appears in the flick as a member of De Niro's gang trying to pull off a final score.
Wow.
But while the rest of the cast and crew was enjoying Friday's gala opening, the wiry, mustachioed DiRuggiero was in federal prison doing nearly 2 years for possessing a $70,000 collection of rare Hummel figurines stolen from a Yonkers house. Those are like cute little figurines of kids playing in the snow and like you get like your
Wow.
grandma would have a cabinet full
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
What an
70
adorable. What an
70
adorable.
grand?
That is how my
At least he didn't steal the entire house.
rough and tumble house robbing safecracking uncle landed himself in jail.
Oh, safe cracker. That's what
Yeah.
that means. Okay. I was like, I don't think you're supposed to call people that.
And this is how you know he's a relative of mine. In the Hummel investigation, DiRuggiero was captured on tape boasting to an FBI informant about his prowess. I'm good with there's quotes. I'm good with safes. cracking safes. I've done vaults, ADT alarms. I've been doing them for years. DeRuggiero said, according to federal documents.
Ooh.
Safes, double doors, single doors, whatever. I don't think I've ever even gotten this far in the article, actually.
These are your uncles. You can't read.
It's just the one. This is just the one guy.
You read Dune, you asshole.
Yeah, I read half of Dune.
This guy's like straight a character from Italian Job or
Yeah.
something.
From the score, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
He's a
yeah,
character from the
naturally.
score.
When was this, by the way?
This was 2001.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was because it was Marlon Brando's last movie. He died in like 2002.
Wow.
Whoa.
What month was this article?
July.
Wow.
DeRuggiero's resume includes a criminal record dating to 1965, involving nearly a dozen arrests for burglary,
I'm sorry.
Man, this guy ripped.
Yeah.
weapons possession, stolen property, and narcotics conspiracy. During the movie's filming, DeRuggiero was arrested by the FBI on an interstate. Oh, I'm sorry, no, on an
Now we have a
interstate.
true crime podcast.
On an interstate
This is great.
transportation
Here we
of
go.
stolen goods charge. Yes, according to federal documents, the collection of about 100 Hummels ceramic figurines was stolen April 6, 1999, from a home in Yonkers. 9 days later, an informant working with the FBI met DeRuggiero, who was trying to sell his one-of-a-kind collection for $138,000. My God, there's a lot of this, actually. Maybe I shouldn't read the entire thing.
What a legend.
Well, yeah.
Just because I feel like it's becoming a slog now. But yeah, no, we got all the good stuff. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's anyway, that's my uncle. And so I met Beers at my grandfather's funeral.
Okay.
And he told me a story that this guy told him about the shooting of that movie. He said that, and take it that it's a secondhand story told by two criminals. So with as many
One of them's named Beers.
as many grains of salt as you've got. Take this, but according to the story, there was a person on set at when they were making the score, and whenever Brando was doing a scene, that person was tasked with standing just right off camera, holding a big bowl of pasta, so that the second they called cut, he could have pasta.
Marlon Brando?
Yeah, this is end of his life. Brando, he was huge.
Maybe he would have lasted a little longer if he didn't have big heaping bowls of pasta sitting just off.
I think
Maybe
at
lay
that
off
point he
the
was just trying to
pasta,
speed it up,
Oh my gosh! Wow. Thank you for Tales of Old Hollywood,
Yeah,
Frank.
of course.
This is why we have you on.
My pleasure.
So we sincerely appreciate it, Frank. Actually, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you being on, and we'll see you next time. Oh wait, come see us. Come see Frank at what's our show called?
Live
Steak.
The
Come see him
comedy
at
show.
Live
The
Steak.
Gutter
On
in
March
Williamsburg.
28th.
March 28th.
at 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
All right.
$10 cash at the door. Good night, everybody.
Oh, bye-bye.
See ya.
Talking Schmidt is recorded at Burmeister Studios in
Astoria, Queens.
Opening music is by Greg Burmeister. Closing music is by
Greg Burmeister.
Our intern is Jason Travis. If you like what you've heard, please like, follow, and write a review for us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you didn't like it, please keep listening to it, but keep your opinions to yourself. If you really liked it, you can find bonus episodes over on our Talking Schmidt Patreon page. Membership is just $5 per month, and it goes a long way to buy us the equipment and bourbon we need. Thanks in advance, and hope you're doing great.